All right, we'll let Irene get in here and then we'll get started. There she is. Oh, and here comes Jose too. Hi, Irene. Got one more kid logging in. There we go. Hi, Jose. All right, well, let's get started. So today we're going to do a writing lesson, and then I'll also give you time to get caught up with any reading that you haven't had a chance to get done yet. I'm going to start a screen share. So you'll notice today, October 5th, you can find this easily because it's got all the hands clapping because I love the fall. And you'll notice whenever there's not a picture in green to the left, that means that it's an announcement. So today we're going to go to your online textbook and complete 3 assignments. The sentence, sentence or sentence fragment, and run-on sentences. I'm going to walk you through a lot of it, but you are having a test on this tomorrow. So I actually need to edit that. So let me go to my edit button, test tomorrow. There we go. Test on Tuesday. So we've got to make sure you finish this module today. Because you're here with me, you are going to find out how to get to your online book if you don't already know. But if you're watching the recording right here, you can click this link to find out how to get to your assignments. So I'm going to stop sharing this screen, and if you would open up another tab and go to Rapid Identity and open up Ed. Ed's your friend. And once you have Ed opened, look under Assignments. And you'll see the first one, Sentence. I think, does it say Sentence or Sentence Fragment? What does it say? Anybody? Cool, thank you. So click on Sentence. I don't know if y'all says Open or Start, but when you open it, this is what you should see. Sentence or Sentence Fragment with a big green banner at the top. And give me a thumbs up when you are there. Are we okay here? Everybody out there okay? All right, if you're not okay, put it in the chat. Miss Stanford's watching the chat for me. All right, so as I was looking at your rough draft, it became apparent that we need to do a little bit of reteaching on what sentences are. So we're going to start the week just kind of figuring out what is a complete sentence, because you are expected as a middle school student to be able to create complete sentences. And we're not there. So we're going to do this little reteaching part. And then the new 6th grade process that we'll do next week is learning how to create complex, long sentences so that you sound really smart and intelligent. Okay? So real quickly, sentence or sentence fragment. Remember, sentences basically are just telling you a complete thought. And unfortunately, I'm seeing a lot of kiddos who have forgotten that sentences begin with a capital and end with punctuation. There's no excuse for a 6th grader not to do that. And on some of your rough drafts, what I saw was no punctuation until you got to the very end of the whole story. So if you think about punctuation is there to help guide you. It gives you a chance to breathe. That's what punctuation is for, to set emotion up and to allow the reader to breathe. So when you're looking at your rough drafts, if you try to read your rough draft out loud. And if you find that you've run out of breath, you probably have something called a run-on sentence. And you need to go back and look for a place where you can add some punctuation, okay? So a complete thought has a subject and a verb, okay? Some kind of action and something the action is happening to, like the parrot bit the back of the chair. So the parrot bit something. It's a complete thought. Wait by the hickory tree, okay? You're giving a command. So the subject is you. I'm telling you, wait by the hickory tree. Did you buy the milk? That play was perfect. These are all complete thoughts. Complete thoughts help you to connect with your reader so that your reader doesn't get lost. When you have something that's not a complete thought, we call that a sentence fragment. For example, the pebbles in Mystery Cove. That kind of leaves you as the reader hanging there. Boys, your eyes should be up here. Because as a reader, you're going, well, what about the pebbles? It leaves you hanging there, okay? This would be a better correction. The pebbles in Mystery Cove are round and multicolored. So you have to tell something about them to make it a complete thought. Relaxes by taking a walk by the ocean. Right there as a reader, did you have a question pop into your head? Yeah, who's relaxing, right? So if you were asked to correct this, you could say, Saki relaxes by taking a walk by the ocean. Tom relaxes by taking a walk by the ocean. When a sea star loses an arm, as a reader, do you go, well, what about it? Right? When a sea star loses an arm, it can grow a new one. So that's the idea of a complete thought. Okay? So let's practice that. You see 10 sentences here where it says your turn. So scroll down on your screen to where your turn is. And let's practice just identifying whether it's a complete thought or a fragment. So I'm going to read it out loud, and then you have a drop-down menu on your screen. You click that menu and you click sentence or sentence fragment, and then you can check it, okay? Jose, you're doing this in your head, okay? The tropical fish were green and blue. So go to your drop-down menu and click sentence or sentence fragment. And then once you've chosen, check it. So I purposefully chose the wrong one, and it told me I was wrong, I was incorrect, and it said this is a sentence because it has a subject and a verb. Okay? All right, so then you come up here to the arrow, and you click the arrow to go to number 2. Oops. Mine didn't work. I hope yours works. Is y'all's working? I wonder if it's because I'm in teacher view. Let me try this. And, all right, let me relaunch. All right, let me scroll down and see if it will let me do it now. There we go. All right. Number 2, did Frank call you? Make your choice and check it. I'm afraid to do it in case it messes it up again. So, Frank and call, it is a complete sentence. Are y'all getting the hang of it? Okay. Click the arrow. Whew, good, it worked. Go to number 3. Spending a night in the woods. Decide if that is a sentence or a fragment. Did you click your choice and check it? Yeah, it is a fragment because what's the question that's in your mind? Anyone? Yeah, who's spending the night in the woods? Thank you. Good. All right, click and go to the next one. Number 4, watch out for the wet paint. Does that leave any questions in your mind? Who are they talking to? If someone suddenly goes, watch out for the wet paint, who are they talking to? The unspoken you, right? You, watch out for the wet paint. So they're still talking to you, whoever they're talking to. They're just not saying the name. So that is correct. It is a sentence. Okay? Try number 5. When the lake is calm. What do y'all think? Does it leave a question in your mind? Yeah. When the lake is calm, it leaves you wondering, well, what happens when the lake is calm? And I've lost my arrow. Ah. Huh?
It's not on the screen.
Yeah, I know. It's over here. I just can't get it back where I need it to be. There we go. Nope. There it goes. All right. Try number 6. Mushrooms grow in the woods. Think, does it have a subject? Yeah, we're talking about mushrooms. Do we know what mushrooms do? Do we have an action word? Yeah, grow. Do we have a complete thought? Yeah, mushrooms grow in the woods. So this is a sentence. Okay, try number 7. Look at all the snow. So what's your action word? Your verb. Look. Who are they telling to look? The unknown you, right? So this is a sentence. Isaiah, please be sure you're putting your answer before I tell you the answer. Guys, part of learning is you try it on your own. Don't wait for me to give you the answer so that you click it. That's not engaging your brain, and you're not giving your brain a chance to puzzle it out. Number 8, the swimming pool was crowded. So in your head, you should be thinking, well, what are we talking about? What's the noun? The pool. Do we have a complete thought about the pool? Now click your answer. Don't wait for me to give it to you. Click your answer and check it. Stretch your brain, challenge it. And yeah, you saw this is a complete thought. Okay, go to number 9. Pea pods sizzled in the wok. The wok is a Chinese cooking dish. And think of pea pods as like a green bean. So stop and think in your head. Do we have an action word, a verb? Yeah, sizzled. What's sizzling? Well, our noun is pea pods. Do we have a complete thought? Yeah, they're sizzling in the wok. So yes, this is a complete thought. It is a complete sentence. Okay, number 10, the hollyhocks. Hollyhocks is the bush. It's the name of a bush with the pointy leaves that if you get into it, the leaves stab you. The hollyhocks by the house. So stop and think. What's our noun? What are we talking about? The hollyhocks, the bush. Do we have a verb? Do we know what they're doing? We don't know what they're doing, do we? So this is not a complete thought. This is a sentence fragment. Okay? And I think when you click the next arrow, is it done at that point? Yeah? All right. So now scroll on down, and this is where you get to actually be creative. You get to correct the sentence fragment. Okay? So the first one here says dangling from the ceiling. So dangling is something hanging from the ceiling. So we've got our verb, something's dangling, but in your mind, what do you immediately think of? What's hanging from the ceiling, right? So what could you say here? If you're at home, type it in the chat. What do we want to have dangling from the ceiling? Tell me one word, one thing we could have hanging from the ceiling. Anybody here? Yeah, Axel? Huh? A bat. Ooh, that's a good one. Goes with Halloween. All right, let's do a bat. So how could you rewrite this? Click in front of it. Get your cursor right there. And remember, sentences start with a capital. A bat was dangling from the ceiling, and then you have to put either a period or an exclamation mark. I don't know. It depends how you feel about the bat hanging from the ceiling. So now we've made it into a complete sentence. Jose, you can be writing this down on your paper now. And then they'll give you a sample answer. In this case, they put a spider at the end of it. Dangling from the ceiling was a spider. So either way, we now have a complete sentence. Does that make sense? All right. So you're going to do 2 through 10 by yourself. Okay? Now, do you see this little arrow to the side? Click that arrow and let me show you the next lesson. So at the top of your paper it should say run-on sentences. Does everybody see that? So this is the opposite of a fragment. A fragment is too short. A run-on is too long. Okay? A run-on sentence is actually 2 or more sentences that you have squished together. The play begins at 2 o'clock, we'd better hurry. One way to check your own writing is say it out loud. And if there's no punctuation, you can't pause and breathe. So try to say this sentence, and if you're here in the room, you can just whisper it to yourself. Try to read all that without breathing. And by the end of it, you feel a little urge to breathe because it went on too long. Okay, try the next one. Remember, no breathing. I'm looking for the basketball court. I thought it was behind the gym. I had that urge to breathe, but I couldn't until I got to the period. Okay, try the next one. Ice water in its solid form. Water vapor is water in its gaseous form. Whew, well, I got a little breath there, but that was just too much information. So one good way to revise or correct a run-on sentence is simply turn it into two sentences. So here's our run-on. Anatole, they've chosen interesting names, haven't they? Anatole, turn the oven on, we will make raisin bread. Whew. All right. Anatole, turn the oven on. We will make raisin bread. Do you see how they broke it up? Okay. Or, and this is a better idea for sixth graders, because as a sixth grader, we do not want to see short and choppy sentences. Our goal is to write long, complex sentences. So here's the run-on. Separate the red pants from the white t-shirts. Before you wash them, you will have pink shirts. Whew. All right, so I'm going to add a comma and something that we're calling a coordinating conjunction. It's those little words like and, but, or. We're going to learn those next week. Separate the red pants from the white t-shirts before you wash them, comma, or you will have pink shirts. So they've added the comma and a little word, or, and, but, to separate it. A comma alone is not enough to link two complete ideas in a sentence. Okay? So for example, you cannot do this. The electric ray is a fish, comma, it stuns its prey with electricity. You can't just stick a comma in there. You have to add and, but, or with the comma. Does that make sense? The electric ray is a fish, comma, and it stuns its prey with electricity. That would work. In this case, they broke it up into two little sentences, which is fine too. So let's do some practice. First of all, can you figure out a run-on when you see it? I like Rosie's new cat, but I prefer big dogs. So again, click. Is this a run-on or is this a complete sentence? I like Rosie's new cat. Is that a complete sentence by itself? But I prefer big dogs. Is that a complete thought? And they joined it with a comma and a but. So that makes this a sentence. Okay, go to number 2. Stella went to Chile. She met some of her relatives there. Chile is a country. Okay, click whether that is a run-on or a sentence. And it is a run-on sentence. Okay, try number 3. Smoke rose from the campfire. It circled above our heads. Run-on or sentence? There's a trick in here. They tried to trick you with a comma, but did they use and, but, or? So this is a run-on sentence. You can't just stick a comma in there. You've got to have one of those little words. Okay, go to number 4. Big dogs can be frightening, or they can be as gentle as small ones. Run-on sentence. Make sure you're choosing your answer before I tell you. Isaiah, are you awake? Isaiah? Isaiah, wake up. Hi, Isaiah. Wake up, dear. So this was a run-on. Okay, go to number 5. Lions roared in the distance. The tour group ran back to the bus. Check your answer. And this is a run-on. Okay, number 6. Jogging is good for you, but you must wear proper running shoes. So you saw the comma, and they used one of our little conjunctions. So this is a sentence. Okay, number 7. The Braille alphabet uses raised dots that stand for letters and spell out words. Ooh, I see some puzzled looks on this one. I'm going to go with a sentence. Yeah. So this is correct because it's describing the Braille alphabet uses dots and spells out words. In this case, we didn't need the and because this is not a complete sentence by itself. Spell out words. If this was a complete sentence by itself, then you would need the comma here. But in this case, the and is just joining two fragments together. We'll go into that in more detail next week. Okay, try number 8. Should we go to Houston by plane? Should we take a bus? And this is a run-on sentence. Okay, try number 9. Bill, you can work as an usher. You can stand in the lobby and collect people's tickets. So you saw the comma. Did you see a conjunction? You can stand in the lobby and collect people's tickets. That's a complete sentence, so we needed a conjunction here. So this is a run-on. Okay, try number 10, the last one. Robots are often used in factories today, for they can do some jobs well. For is like, we don't really talk like that with the word for. Think of for as the word because. Or think of it as the word and. So we have our comma. And this is a conjunction. We just don't really speak this way with English nowadays. We don't use the word for. All right, so now scrolling down, you're going to be revising your own run-on sentences. So you're going to change it to form 2 or more complete sentences or add a comma and a conjunction. So we have here, a strong wind was blowing the roof off. No, a strong wind was blowing, the roof of the house was shaking. So if you want to break that up into 2 sentences, go ahead and do so. Where would you add a period? Where would you add a capital? Or if you want to make it a long sentence with a conjunction, where would you put the comma? And what conjunction would you use? Go ahead and do number 1 right now. Ooh, I messed that up badly. There we go. And you can write this one down. All right, let's check. If you decided to make it 2 sentences, a strong wind was blowing, and you would put a period right there, and then change the next letter to a capital. The roof of the house was shaking. Or, a strong wind was blowing, comma, and the roof of the house was shaking. Those are 2 different ways you could do it. Both of them are totally okay. So on 2 through 10, you're going to be given a run-on and you need to correct it on your own. Does that make sense? Any questions? Okay, click the arrow. Did I give y'all this one? No. Was that the last one y'all had? Let me go look at my assignments. Yeah, that was it. So you just have the sentence or sentence fragment, and run-on sentences that you need to do. So you've got those 20 sentences to correct. Okay? Once you've done that, go back to Canvas and check grades and see if there's anything that you need to finish from last week. Okay? Any questions? Nothing? All right. If you finish early, you can also use this time to go work on any independent work, or if you want to check out ebooks, you can definitely do that too. Okay?